Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Bird 91. We are talking to you guys about Married at First Sight, season 17, episode 5. It's crazy already. We're on the resort, but things aren't so beautiful. Yes, we're talking to you guys obviously about this latest episode. There was a lot of things that were happening. We had Lauren and Orion having their beef about who was going to be the most offended. Was it going to be Redskins? Was it going to be niggas? I don't know. Then we had obviously Claire and Cameron. Claire was letting us know, listen, hey boy, that's about as much touching as you gonna get for tonight. Okay. Had an old boy sliding on the wall. We also had then obviously what's the name? I forgot it. Brendan and why have I forgotten their name? Brendan and Chloe. That's it. Brendan and Chloe. They seem to be okay. I mean, they're middle ground. They're middle ground. I don't know. They seem to be middle ground. You know, there's nothing too crazy happening. I mean, I think they had a discussion about money, which may come up a little bit later on because we remember we heard that she was a bit picky, so it gonna come up soon. And then obviously we had the couple. She couldn't get in the pool. What is her name? Why is her name getting out of my head? Her name. What is her name, Sean? The couple that she can't, the girl she gets sick. Sorry, she gets pains.
Oh, I forgot her name. I'm looking up all their names because I forgot her.
It's Becca. It's Emily.
Becca.
Becca. Okay. Becca and Austin. That's it. Thank God. Becca and Austin, who are saying, you know, everything's great, everything's amazing. She couldn't get in the pool. I said, this is the beginning of the end. This is gonna be the beginning of the end. The brother thought he was good, but she's because you ain't dealt with nothing yet. When you start dealing with stuff that's real, you gonna find out, okay? And I don't know if I've missed anybody else out. I think that could be it. If I missed someone else out, is that 4 couples? Is it 4 couples or 5? You have a moment.
You're missing somebody.
4. Yeah, that's it. 4. Yeah, that's it then.
Claire and Cameron.
All right. Yeah.
Orion and Lauren. Brennan and Emily. And Becca. And whatever his name is.
Austin.
Yeah.
Okay. You can tell that we're not really as involved this season. But listen, there's some great stuff that happened in the show that I think we can discuss as well and get deep with. And so I've got some fabulous gentlemen to join me on this episode breakdown for y'all as well. It's gonna be interesting, this conversation. So Sean, Trey, you know, this episode, what was your original thoughts on this particular episode? I just want to get your quick thoughts on this episode. Trey, your mic's already open, so go for it. What's your thoughts on this episode? Quick thoughts, please.
You said the right word. Kind of middle of the road couples, but we're still going to have some of the same issues we always have when you put people together like this. But there's a few couples I got questions about why. One of them I like, and that's Becca and Austin, but why? I wish I would have known y'all was on last week because I had something to say. I was like, nah, they didn't do him like this. This was a bad setup. They didn't do him like this, you know. But he's handling like a trooper. I guess we'll get to him. But this is just day 1 or 2 of the honeymoon. This is what it is. But that day 1 or 2. Some of them did some cute stuff, but you know, we saw some glaring holes in some of the relationships that's going to pop up later down the road. But we're going to get to that.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you, Trey. Sean, what's your thought?
Yeah, I think this is gonna be one of them seasons. I only see it for maybe one, and that's if my boy, Austin can continue being the martyr that he is definitely gonna have to be strong in this relationship. Because everybody else ain't no way, baby. Ain't no way.
Love it. Let's get straight into it this season. Let's get straight into it. Let's get straight. Brennan, let's go Brennan and Emily. Them first. Let's go with them first. Brennan and Emily. Let's get your thoughts on them. What's your initial thought? They had a conversation about money. That was what that kind of got me, and it was loosely touched upon, and I could just tell. He said he does a bare minimum, and she was like, "Yeah." Like she was like, "Yeah, yeah." You saying bare minimum? I'm hearing you right now because honeymoon phase. I'm gonna tell you this now. Okay, all right. I'm telling you this now. Yeah, bare minimum ain't it? Okay, so she wasn't trying to have that. But what's you guys' thoughts? Bare minimum, couple. What was your thoughts on that situation? Sean, Brennan, and Emily.
So listen, these two ain't gonna make it. First of all, there are complete opposites. She's a wild child, never has never been in a relationship. And he strikes me as somebody that's a little bit more reserved, and he said that a couple of times. When he met her parents, I don't know if you remember in the last episode when they were talking about, is he concerned about her being in a relationship? And he was like, yeah, I know she's only had some hookups. So already he's kind of low-key judging her and looking out the side of her eye. And then it came up again tonight, or not tonight, or in last night's episode, when they were talking about how they are, did they party a lot? And she was asking him, did you party in college? And he said, oh, I had fun. I did have fun. And she was like, oh, well, I had a lot of fun. You know what that means? She's definitely, but she's trying to, the person that's, the ladies say they done had the H phase. Yeah, she done had her H phase. And she's like, oh, I'll follow your lead. She was like, that's a sign. Like, bro, pick up the pace, because I'll go where you go. And he's like, oh, I just want to get to know each other. She's like, all right, keep moving slow. All right. You're going to get canceled right on out.
All right, this thing going to dry up.
That's it. She's going to be like... That's it. You're done.
You're done.
Try to choose you.
She was like, hey, it's wide open for you. Come on in. He's like,
she says, I'll follow your lead. Come on, brother Brennan. You got to pick up the pace, bro. Come on. You got to read the cues. Read the room, bro. He said, I'll go where you go. Then you need to be going.
Did you really catch Brennan's answer, though? Did you really catch Brennan's answer? He was sounding like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I done had girls like you. I done slid in them before. I'm trying to pull back and touch my emotions now. I want to build something with my emotions.
He a freak, that's why.
She was like, come on in. Come on in.
Bend up the back. That's what I'm trying to do. So, hurry up and bend up the back. That's what she's asking for. I think he's holding back. Personally, I think he's holding back. Can't lie to you. I think he's just trying to hold back. I think he doesn't want to look like he's like, he's on it like that. You know what I mean? Because of his past, maybe. But the reality of the situation is, you want to bend up her back, bro. Bend up her back if you want to bend it up, because she's asking to bend it back. You know what I mean?
He do, but he heard what he heard. And I'm sorry. You ain't gonna be in this type of situation and not take a pause. Like, wait a minute. So, how many, I don't want to ask this question, but you kind of, how many times you been bent up? Wait a minute. Oh, wait. I don't want to know. That's what he's giving. I don't want to know, because every time she start talking like it, he's like. He started looking like my emotions like what, bro? Nah, he a little hesitant, just a little bit. He like, no relationship. but you've been bent up. Back bender. Gotcha.
Folded like a pretzel. What's our thoughts then? What's the thoughts about the money situation though? Because obviously it was them that had a conversation about money, right? They had a conversation about money. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember much of it. You know,
They-
what's your guys' thoughts about their finances?
They were on board for the most part because it seemed like they both like try to work hard and make money and everything, but it went completely left when he said, "Yeah, I'm like the bare minimum," and she had a concerned face like, "Ooh, yeah, I'm gonna need a little help with that part, man, because I just spend money." And then he was like, in my head, I'm looking at him. He's like, "Wait a minute, okay." I'm feeling like I'm about to go broke with you. Is that what you're telling me? Like, is that what you're trying to tell me here? Yeah, because he said a lot when he said, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a look. Basically, when they go back home and take a look at their places and whatnot, he's like, I'm gonna have to take a look in here and see where all this money going. I caught him when he said that. It ain't gonna be pretty. It ain't gonna be pretty. And to me, the most she came off as, how can I put this? I think she's well off. She's okay for herself, but the way she's talking, it sounds like she's check to check. The way you spending like that, you know what I'm saying? You gotta, if you're in a consummate mindset to continuously make money like that, it's a need for you because you're spending money like that. You're still a check to check mindset. And he's a mindset like, yeah, I like to make money too, but I also like to keep money, save money. He's been sitting, preparing for this life. Like, I'm ready to do this, but I also know we got to save money too. We got a family to provide for. We got to have some for down the road. Then for you to do that, you got to change your mindset off rip. She ain't ready. She just came out of her phase. So she literally just came out of her phase.
Yeah. Okay. Sean, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, when I think it sounds like, they worked through that conversation pretty well, because at least she was saying, I'm willing to let you lead that, because it's clear that she, may bring in a lot of money, but she doesn't manage it well. And she kind of just is one of those carpe diem, I live for the day kind of folks. So I'm glad that she was open to say, hey, listen, if you're better at it, you have a good plan, you live below your means, which is very smart. Then, she was open to his leadership in that, which I think is a healthy outlook in a relationship. I still think it's too many struggles though, because they got one too many struggles going on betwixt the two of them. So, but I do think in that particular conversation, it was navigated pretty well. And he was like, I'm gonna trust but verify. He was like, when we get back and we start looking at them bank accounts, if I see some negative marks in your account, then that's gonna be a little bit of a red flag.
Yeah,
I got a question.
Huh?
So you go ahead. I had a quick question though.
Why
does it seem like she's willing to give it up so easy? Give up that control, because when we met her, we talked to her, she has control issues. She likes things her way. She likes things to go a certain type of way. They said this about her, but all of a sudden now she give it up. I don't know. Saying what she thinks he wants to hear. That's what it was sounding like. I'm just asking. Just a question.
Oh, Trey, I'm not gonna lie to you. We missed your question.
It was.
Your connection is broken.
Yeah, you was in the main. Maybe you need to go out and come back in, bro. Because it was sounding like you on a helicopter right now.
Yo, your thing was doing chop to chop, boy. I was struggling.
Yeah, I thought it
Like
was
her
like,
points.
you know, a versus battle, and somebody was
I
like,
was Ted Riley. I
I'm on the
was
ones and the
struggling.
twos.
I
But
was
I did
struggling.
hear, I heard the gist of what he was saying. I think he was playing devil's advocate and saying that she was too willing to give up control of her finances,
Mm.
you know, and that could be a potential red flag. That's what I think he was saying.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, it could be. I don't know. What's
I
your
don't
thought?
know. I haven't seen enough yet. I think,
Yeah.
you know, at least at this early stage, it's good. And I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt and say at least she was willing and astute enough to see, like, hey, listen, on the surface, it sounds like he's got a good plan. You know, sounds like he manages his finances well. You know, I'm willing to give that part up. So I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt until she shows me something different. Some of the
Mm.
ladies is like, I saw a comment. Somebody said, no, he wants to control her.
I mean, yeah, I don't know if it'll go that far. I haven't really seen enough to say that per se. I haven't seen enough to. Yes, you're looking better, bro. I haven't heard enough to necessarily say that is the case. It could be. But I think you know, for her, I mean, obviously, if she offered it up, then it's not him trying to control her. She offered it up. I think the reality is maybe she realized that she's not that great at money management. Maybe she realized she's not good at money management. And she wanted him to take control. But what I would say is obviously just maybe from past experience, having a partner who wanted me to even be a leader in that. Some people really do like the man being a leader in all things. They enjoy the man being a leader in all things, but sometimes it also is about exposing the inadequacy in that area, and that maybe she's not. This is her way of kind of controlling her spending. Maybe, you know, she knows she spends a lot, and maybe having him at the helm means that she might be a little bit more better at spending more wisely. Maybe that's what she's thinking, you know, because you know, she really is giving up the helms really quickly in terms of finances. I'd wait at least a few weeks, and know what kind of person you're going to be with first and foremost, because you don't even know if you're going to make it to the end yet. But yeah, no, I get it. I see, you know, for her that it may be a case of just that he is a better buck stop than other things. You know, she can use him as a buck stop. So I don't know. It's an interesting one in that particular case with Brennan and Emily as well. Okay, let's go to the next couple then. Let's go to the next couple.
Jeez, you was ready to go. Damn.
Let's get with it. Let's get with it.
Yeah,
let's get with it.
Just one last thing before you go.
Go for it.
Yeah, no, I think somebody said it in the comments, and this is how I see them. I think it's Tim Pickens says he's looking for a family life and she's looking for a party planner. And I'm telling you, that is exactly a party partner, excuse me. And that's exactly how I see those two, because they are just kind of like polar opposites. But you know, when somebody's trying to fake it till they make it. So he's like, yeah, I think we're the same. When he said we're the same person, I'm like, bro,
cut it out.
Why you lying?
Cut it out. Cut it out. I know Trey's got one last thing to say. Go for it, Trey.
Oh no, I was just asking the question to what y'all was saying. I was asking, why was she so willing just to give it up? Because when we first met her, her friends clearly said, you know, of course she'd never been in a relationship and she likes control herself. She was kind of a control freak. Then all of a sudden, she's willing just to give that an important aspect up. If something just went off in my head, like, wait a minute, okay, are you just placating to him? Or is this real? You know, or you just trying to tell him what you think he wants to hear. Because he is the kind of man that you can kind of tell he's going to lead it regardless of what you think or not. He's going to, hey, this is where I'm going. You got to get on, you get off. It's kind of the type of dude he comes across as, you know. Get on or get off. Which one going to be?
Choose one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. I like it. Let's talk about Austin and Becca. You know, I confess the only part I really remember of them is a conversation with the rest of the group, to be honest. And then obviously talking about them at the very end at the pool where she couldn't get in the pool, and I said, "Oh, it starts right now." But what's your guys' thoughts? Oster and Becca, you know, they were so happy and joyful and jovial, and you know, speaking like there was no problems, and they generally they don't necessarily have any emotional problems. They seem to be on the same wavelength. They generally do look like they are two peas in a pod. It's now the health concerns that I'm concerned. But anyway, go for it, Sean.
Yeah, no, to me, it's when people start declaring victory too early, you ain't even got to the race. You just crossed the finish line. You know what I mean? Not the finish line. You just crossed the starting of the race. So you're nowhere near the finish line. You're not at the halfway mark. You know, to say, oh well, we shouldn't feel like we have to, you know, dim our light. I saw that's one of the previews. You know, it's like you haven't conquered Rome yet. Slow down, low down. Because at the end of the day, you still got a few more hills to climb before you can claim victory just yet. And they got a lot to them. I'm telling you, and we said it last time, and we were a little, you know, I was a little tongue in cheek about it, but he gonna have to be a martyr because she has endometriosis, she has some autoimmune disease, and it just came up this episode where there's times where she don't even like to leave the house in her past. She got a lot to her, and for me, that's a lot for somebody who I know you and we get married, let alone I don't know you and we get married, and then I got to deal with all of this. And then did you miss the part when they was talking about kids and she was like, I'm fine without having kids, and he was like, I want 2 kids? Like, how much sacrifice is this brother gonna have to give up? I'm sorry. I think he has to be masking this, because there's no way you are legit discontent while you're on your honeymoon, you're in the pool, and your wife is poolside with a denim jacket on, and y'all in a tropical place. Ain't no way. There's no way he's just like, okay, it's just great. No, I'm sorry. That's too much. That's too, you have to be able to, you got to be a little frustrated in there, bro. Now, listen, if he like it, I love it for him. But I'm telling you, along the way, that breaks down the strongest of couples having to deal with health issues. And to me, it just seems like it's very one-sided, because what is she doing for him except for showing up just as quirky as he is?
I'm gonna try and word this politically correct. Last week I missed the live and I had to rewatch you guys, and y'all did bring it up because it was playing on my mind. I was like, wait a minute, how did this woman with recent serious medical issues be allowed to come on this show to be paired with a man to marry without him knowing of her medical history? Because how do we cut it? It seems like he is blindingly being handed something that he could not say no to, for the most part. His choice was taken away in this particular instance. Like in most cases, if you meet someone, you know, y'all get to know each other a little bit. Let's say eventually she tells you, hey, I have a medical history. This is some of the stuff I'm going through. Oh, okay, you hear that out, and you probably will react like Austin did. Like, okay, I'm with you. I'm still here. You might really like this girl. At that point, that is a choice to continue seeing her, and it's a conscious choice to maybe in the future, if it leads to there, also take on that burden that is as your responsibility. But you knowingly make that choice. Like, you knowingly going into it, she told you what was up. Okay, you know what? I am still willing to go down this path. at that point, hey, yeah, it's your choice. But in this instance, you know, go on the show, you get married at first sight, and not even a few hours later, she's telling you, yeah, I got a whole of medical conditions. I might be checked out tomorrow. Whoa. Like, that's a lot. Now, I have to commend Austin for, like, he's really been a trooper about this and doing what he should do, trying to support her and reassure her and everything. But I think Sean's right. We have not heard his true opinions on how he really feels about this. You know, especially when he was first told. If you look at the look on his face, he was like, this seems like a lot. You know, he has questions like, okay, what do you mean? What exactly are you saying? Like, you know, but he quickly realized, like, okay, this lady is going, I need to try to be supportive of this, that, third. But yeah, I don't know if we really know what his true thoughts about this is, and we probably never going to get it, you know, because they make him look a certain type of way, and honestly, it shouldn't, because I think it should be genuine concerns. Like, this was literally thrusted upon him, and there was no choice in the matter. You know, that was my only concern about that. It was just weird. But this episode, yeah, the kids, yeah, she got a lot, and on the surface, it does seem like they mesh well together. It does seem like they get along together, but they're caught in that honeymoon phase. Like, literally, if you notice, they really hadn't talked about anything of substance and stance for the future, except when the kids situation came up. Now, like you said, Coach, that was interesting how she answered that. He clearly said, yeah, I would want to, about 2 kids 3 years down the line. So he got a mindset, okay, yeah, we're going to get to know each other these first 3 years, and then about 3 years later, we talk about seriously having kids. Her answer was so blasé. It was just like, and when you think about it, I understand her answer why it's blasé. She has medical issues that might prevent her from having kids naturally. I might have to think about having kids a different type of way. And that's another burden that might have to come into the situation that he has to be responsible for and take the lead on. It's just the whole time I'm like, why did y'all pair this man with this woman? How did this happen?
We're not sure how it happens. We're not sure how it happens. Sean?
Listen, they're saying, what about sickness and health? They don't even give us guys grace if the guy is broke. All right. So if the guy is broke, we call him Dusty. We tell him he needs to get his stuff together. You know, he's not fit to be a husband. And come on now, guys. Let's just be, I mean, some of y'all are being honest, but some of y'all are being like really rainbows and clouds and fairy dust with this whole thing. That's a lot to take. Imagine if the shoe was on the other foot, and the woman had to deal with the guy who didn't have a job. He had some health concerns, right? Y'all would be like, why are you on this show? Why are you here? Get your life together. So that's all we're saying. Look, and she does deserve love, but I feel like she deserves love with somebody who knows what they're getting themselves into. Not someone who is meeting you for the first time and like has to process all of these different things. That's a lot. I just feel like he's got an unfair disadvantage going into this because he's got a lot to take on, and he's going to constantly have to be the martyr. No, broke and dusty is not the same thing. It isn't, because I can get a job tomorrow. One is less permanent. So yeah, you're right. They aren't the same thing, Tracy. They are very different.
Hey, listen, personally, you know, I think it's a very heavy situation to go into, to be thrust into somebody who's got health concerns, especially of that magnitude. I think it's going to be a very difficult thing for anybody. They do look like they get along. They do like chemistry is amazing. and everything like that. I just want to be real with you and frank with you. Negroes can have all of that and still quit. I'll be honest with you. Yeah. Negroes will have all of that and still quit. Maybe that's where we differ from women. I don't know. But a Negro can have the insane chemistry, insane compatibility, everything like that. But this will send a Negro to say, you know what? I know it's all amazing, but I can't do it myself. So it may work out, it may not. You get what I'm saying to you? I haven't got enough information on him to say he definitely won't work out, right? I'm just saying that it will be very difficult because, like I said, he's blindsided by the medical aspect. And right now, it's not impacting too much. But what happens when it starts impacting a lot of stuff? When it starts impacting physical activities you want to do, then that might be slightly different. But the reality of the situation, as I will say to you, men at the very beginning will tell you, like, I'm good. And really and truly, we know men, they ain't. Okay, they ain't. All right, so we'll see what happens. If he can hold on, we appreciate it and we love that about it, and may he continue to serve his wife. But if not, then like I said, it's a shame. It's gonna be a shame. At the end of the 8 weeks, the brother could be quitting. You know what I mean? Like he gonna make some shitty excuse about it just wasn't working towards the end. I wasn't really feeling it towards the end. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Respect our privacy. We've decided to go on, but we're still the best of friends.
That's it. Great joint message as well. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'll leave it there in that respect. Any other thoughts on Becca and Austin before you switch it again? No. All right, Becca.
I just want to give a disclaimer real quick because I know they're already I'm rustling the feathers a little bit.
You guys get into trouble.
I mean, this is honestly how I feel. I'm not like just being cheeky, but listen, I just think it's a lot. Now, I do think she deserves love. And I said that again, I just want to be clear. So I know sometimes, on touchy subjects, we just have to be clear. I do understand that she deserves love. I just think the married at first sight scenario, they already have a very difficult track record. And for her to be part of this process, I think it's just a little unfair to him because it seems at this point, it's very one-sided. And one-sided arrangements don't work. It's very imbalanced. Somebody's going to break. People are not designed that way.
Yeah, I get you. I hear that. All right, let's work. Claire and Cameron, touch-starved, they said. Touch-starved. Cameron is saying that, he needs a safe space to be able to interact. But, he hasn't felt like he's got that from Claire just yet because she laughed a little bit or whatever. Wasn't taking him seriously in some an aspect, and he felt some type of way about it, right? So I want to get your thoughts on Claire and Cameron. What's going on with Claire and Cameron? Are they going to make it at this point? Because I'll be honest with you, it's looking a bit bleak. Like old girl was controlling my boy. You understand? Talk to me, Trey.
They're not gonna make it. No, they ain't gonna make it. No. It was so funny when they were sitting. It was after the little, I guess, kayaking or whatever they were doing, the paddleboarding or whatnot. When they were sitting together talking, it was almost like I can physically see the wall in between them, and it was just steady growing. It just getting bigger right before his eyes. Actually, she was literally taking bricks and building the wall right in front of him. Yeah, and Cameron needs to just get up out of there real quick, because she's gonna break him mentally if he ain't careful. I can see that coming, especially when it got towards the end of the night and they got on that therapist conversation. I was like, it just went so left. I was like, okay. He has his opinion. He believes in the therapy, this, and that, third. Clearly, what he was trying to say, yeah, I believe in therapy. I went to therapy before, when I was a kid, he probably was going through some stuff. That doesn't mean he needs to have therapy right now. But it seemed like she was trying to come off and saying, no, absolutely need therapy. Everybody needs therapy. If you don't get it, something's wrong with you. And it was throwing me off. I was like, how is she making this determination? Like it was becoming very overbearing the more she was talking. And you could tell he was trying to smooth it out. Hey, we're different. Like we just look at things differently. This is what it is. Yet she was still trying to pick. It did. It really did. She brought back the old school chastity belts that ever last. Like, no. It was yeah, Cameron, he likes her. I know he likes her. I can't tell if she likes him. She says she does. I don't know if I believe it every time she says it. I'm just like, I don't see it. If you notice, she was being very challenging at his job and chosen career as well. She was actually trying to downput him as something he loved and is passionate about. Did you try to cover up and say, well, everybody needs their passion. Everybody needs to believe in something they believe in. Even if it's just fits in bikes. I was like, ooh, boy, she taking a shot at you, taking a shot at your pockets. So your pockets ain't pocketed. Pockets are not pockets. You only got one back pocket, bro, and it ain't deep enough. Like, woo, it was rough, but he needs to get up out of there. He needs to get up out of there quick. It ain't. I can see them. It's going to be a lot of passive aggressive behavior from both of them towards each other throughout the season. I just don't know who's going to break first and really go at one another. Probably Cameron, because he can get real snarky at times and real cutting. So it's probably going to be him. But she's going to be the one to push his buttons on it and make him respond to something. It's probably won't be pretty.
Go for it, Sean.
Yeah, I just need Claire to finish her schooling and stop therapizing anybody, because
She says she got credits to finish.
Well, she got a lot more. I think she needs to double back and get some more work done, because her level of self-awareness is not there. Her tact is not there. And we ripped him, because at least I did last episode, when he didn't carry her luggage, he was just being petty. So he definitely does have the petty gene, and it runs strong through his DNA. But I need her to just, it's like she's like, I'm gonna get my get back. And she done ripped him to shreds. She talked about his job. She was like, you don't get bored fixing bikes? I mean, come on, lady. Come on. You know better than that to talk like that to somebody. And then when he was trying to say, ask me some questions, she was like, I don't know. Who cares? She didn't even say, she was like, what do you have? Tell me something. I was like, lady, why are you so rude? She's mean. Then she talked about his clothes. And I'm like, you ain't no runway model yourself, sis. Like, take it easy on the brother. So yeah, she don't like him, and he's starting to ease up on her, off on her. I think though with him, he is a little too overly focused on, touch. Bro, she's touching your heart, because she is like, you need to worry about her touching your heart, because she is like throwing jabs left, right, front, and center. And I'm just trying to understand, like, do you hear yourself when you talk? Like, do you ever, like, sometimes you talk to somebody and you kind of like replay it back and like, oh, the only time she stopped was because he had some good comebacks for her when she said, are you bored? Do you ever just get bored doing the same thing over and over again? It's monotonous. And then he was like, no, you know, explaining the importance of bikes and how people in Denver use it as a form of therapy, especially during the pandemic. And then she just shut up and she was just looking like a deer in headlights. She didn't even, I mean, I'm glad she stopped talking, but she could have been like, you know what? My bad. I kind of like, maybe I oversimplified what you do. Tell me a little bit more about what you do. Then she went into, you know, the therapy thing. I can't stand when people do that. You don't tell somebody, especially someone you just met, and you're a therapist, you're trying to push them down the therapy into the therapy chair. He said he went as a child. He said if he felt the need to go, he would go again. And then she was talking about this, the stigma. She's doing a PSA for therapy. It's okay, ma'am. It's really okay. Like, how about you just talk to him and you get to know him? And she's selling this. She's selling therapy sessions. Well, you wouldn't be the one to give him therapy. Yeah. So the both of them, they are too similar. You know. So
Yeah, she got into him differently. I can't lie to you, man. And she's trying to sun him as well, man. You know, when she was in front of the group and she just kept on saying, you know, we don't necessarily get along. And she kept on touching his shoulder. I was like, ma'am, get your hands off his shoulder. You don't touch him ordinarily. Get your hand off his shoulder. And so, you know, when someone doesn't like you, when someone's not attracted to you, it makes everything else harder. And that's what we're seeing here. It's like, you can't even, if you're attracted to him, you might have even said, you know what, I even like the fact he mends bikes. I like the way his hands work, you know, but you can't even find anything attractive about that man because you don't like him like that. So even the fact that he owns a bike company, it's like he does bikes. It's like, you know what I mean? Like it turns into a negative because you don't necessarily fancy that person. So it's going to be very difficult. And they keep talking about their differences and what's going to make it, you know, great to kind of pursue and understand each other better. I hear it. It probably could make it better. But the reality of the situation right now is it's looking real tough. Okay. And the brother is so concerned about touch. I guess that's a bit of his love language, but also as well, it's his validation and confirmation the person actually likes him. I do get that aspect too. I think you're going to struggle to get that from old girl Claire because old girl Claire, one thing about women is when they don't like you, they don't want you to touch them. One thing about women, when they do not like you and find you attractive, one thing they can't pretend is touch, right? They can do all everything else, okay? But when it comes to touch, they recoil. This is what you're going to get from her. So, you know, I think personally that, you know, she is doing the most, but it's because she doesn't fancy him, and that's okay if you don't. But you're gonna have to be real about it, like, because old boy looks like he's suffering out there too. You know, I think they need some real conversations about where they're at right now to manage expectations. You know, look, I want to touch you more, I want to be able to get closer to you, but I don't think you're there just yet. You know what I mean? Look, I think one thing I've been sitting on the outskirts of the last few, last few historical years. And so obviously been on the outskirts of the historical years, you kind of get to seeing people and getting to conversing with them and saying things that may not necessarily be the nicest in the moment, but it's true. You know what I mean? Like if I say to you, listen, hey, look, I want to touch you more. You know what I mean? But what's going to make you more comfortable to engage in more touching? You know what I mean? Like you're going to have to really be honest about some of the things that you actually genuinely want. If he feels like, you know what, it's too soon, or he feels like, you know, he's not getting a green light, he may have to have a conversation about it. Hey, look, you know what, I feel like, you know, we're not in that place right now to be able to hold your hand or whatever. But, you know, I would love to be able to start building that physical intimacy. You know what I mean? And again, wording is so key with women. It's, you know, it's a powerful thing. You know what I mean? Like not saying to her, you know, I want to touch you more. Might a bit tricky. You know what I mean? But if you say, hey, look, I want to build more of our physical intimacy, you see how sweet that sounds? Sometimes you got to sweeten the thing for the lady them. You understand? Because sometimes it can be a little bit too direct. And especially when they don't fancy you already, it's really not it. You know what I'm saying to you? So sometimes you just got to coax the conversation, just to be able to bring it into a space where you can get her to see your point of view. You know what I mean? So yeah, I want to increase our physical intimacy a little bit. I wouldn't mind starting with just holding hands. You know, something like that. You know, non-evasive, crazy stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? Right? Or at least letting her know. So, or at least asking where she's at, so you can find out where she stands, so that you can begin to build that bridge. You know what I'm saying? But and that's all well and good and saying in theory. When you're actually there and someone says someone's showing you they don't like you, it's not as easy. You know what I mean? I can understand that. Yeah. Any other thoughts on the Claire and Cameron situation? Sean, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, she don't like him. I think he could write her love sonnets all day long, and she's gonna find a way to just dismiss it. She just seems like a very cold energy when it comes to him, and I think his personality is so just. I think then it's his personality too. So it's like those two things. She's not attracted to him, and then his personality is a little abrasive. So it's just not gonna go. This is not gonna work. Somebody said, Clinton Gina. I think they're even worse than Clinton Gina. Jacob and Haley. I mean, it's like explosively, like they could really go bad real quick, real bad real quick. I don't see it for them unless there's like a 180. And I hope so, but it just doesn't look good. The energy is off, their chemistry is off, and they're both awkward in conversations.
Appreciate that. Trey, do you have anything else saying about them, or shall I move forward? Okay, cool. All right, let's talk about obviously the famous one, Lauren and Orion. It was a battle of the offenses. Man, I've never seen so many people drop so many offenses in one conversation. People, double back. Just when Orion thought he had Lauren by the balls, proverbial balls, but that is, she then flipped it and was like, as a black woman, we get hit with a lot. So, the jokes, we kind of have a strong, she's trying to make concessions for her madness. As a black woman, we've gone through a lot of hardships and, we joke a lot about these things. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh, she didn't even want to take accountability, but she wasn't the only one, because I honestly didn't think it was that deep. I can't lie to you, right? Because you didn't actually say she wasn't saying he was a redskin. She was actually mentioning it in the form of, well, from what I remember, it was a context of conversation, her mentioning about redskin. And I think then she laughed at the point. And then that's when he decided he said, I'm going to make this play. Because since I can't say the N-word and you're going to make me punch you in the ancestors, I tell you this now, you're going to pay for the redskins. Yeah? You're going to pay for it. Yes, Trey.
It was kind of funny. They, for the most part, they were getting along all day. Hey baby, can I watch you? What word you used? Not lay your edges. Can I watch you? What was the word?
Put down or something like that.
Yeah, put down your edges. It was funny. I was like, put down? What? And she had to teach him what lay mean. It was funny. I was like, bro, you even had to ask that. Just go in there, sit there, and talk to her and watch her do it. That's it. She still would have taught you. But for the most part, they was getting along all day until that particular. Even when they was talking about they also was another couple that had the finance talk, which was interesting. It was very interesting. I was like, The funny thing was they seemed to be almost in the same realm on the finance talk. Like, okay, they was kind of agreeing to this 80-20 idea, and then, he tried to backtrack it to like maybe 70-30 and all this, but for the most part, they seem to be on board. And put it as they had a better conversation than Brennan and Emily did on their finance talk. They actually came to some type of consensus. I don't know if it's not going to work or not, but at least they came to one. It's been talked about, and apparently this wasn't the first time it was talked about. They had been talking about it. I said, okay, they're moving along. And then you get here, and she asked the question first. It was kind of weird. Have you ever said the N-word before? I was like, where's this come from? Like, when she said, I'm like, wait, why? Why you ask that? Why would you ask that? But he asked. Like, unfortunately, yes. When I was young, in songs, I was like, that happens a lot. You know, he was like, I was ignorant. I didn't understand. I was just rapping through those lyrics and whatnot. My mom wanted told me, hey, don't say that word. It's offensive. Da 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 da. And I grew up. I learned from him. And she was like, okay, yeah, that's all cool. And this, when it turned left, he tried to me, it seemed like he tried to, I don't know, make her feel better in a way by saying, we all have our own offensive words, like the word redskin. And she was like, I never even used the term redskin. I don't even know what it means. And he was like, would you like to know what it means? She was like, well, yeah, educate me. What does that even mean? And he explained it, started to explain what it means. And she did the second stupid thing. She went, oh, I get it now. Look at your face. I went, oh, no.
Now, when you put it like that, it sounds mad. Oh, you a nigga. I get it.
Yes. That's what I went, oh, no, you did. And she meant it innocently. But it dawned on her where the term finally came from. And she went, oh, I get it. Your face. And he literally started turning red as she was saying it. I went, oh, no. Wow, don't do that. Ooh. I knew it was about to go left after that. And it slowly just went right down that road. Just bad. I was, she didn't mean it intentionally. It just was in the moment. Oh, I get it now. Blah, blah, blah. And he definitely took it offensively. And I mean, if we're going to talk about it in some way, shape, or form, in that instance, yeah, he probably should have taken it instantly because she shouldn't have said what she said. I was like, oh. Even I'm sitting here watching like, ooh, she don't know what she just did. Ooh. And then he started trying to get petty with her. His little pettiness came out in education. I was like, uh-oh. And then it started going back and forth. Oh, like you said, oh, well, me as a black woman, I say, oh, yep, here we go. It's all over now. Here we go. And he was all in his feelings. I am offended. I was like, oh boy. And he's like, she was right. His shoulder was all tensed up, and I was like, well, this was a small situation that completely got out of hand. And I think this is the first time we can clearly say that the both of them did not effectively use conflict resolution. Like, they literally stuck to their guns, started digging trenches, and was trying to lob grenades at one another. It was like, oh. It's a weird situation when you're being put with someone and y'all are literally having who had the worst struggle conversation. Like, stop it. Just stop it. Especially, and I'm just saying, especially y'all two. Giving both of y'all ancestry. Why are both of y'all having this conversation? The only thing that matters, we will both come from people of struggle within this country. That's it. Now, how can me and you together build a lasting family? That's it. I don't know. There are times where I think this might work, but for the most part, I'm like, it's just, you know what? Let's just say what it is. There's going to be times where he's not going to be man enough for her, and the dad pointed it out last week. Yes, Sean, I said it. Sometimes to get say it. The dad pointed it out last week when you was talking to him. Like, and ultimately, she's going to need some type of man that has father's energy. Because he is her blueprint. And that's not Orion. So I don't know. We're gonna see though.
Go for it, Sean.
I mean, I don't know what to say after Trey said all that. What I will say is that yeah, she said she wants 80-20, so I'm gonna start there. So so she wants traditional with the money, but everything else is modern. So I found that to be interesting. I thought that was going to be a very interesting dynamic, but he kind of like fumbled his way all through that. But doesn't he live with his mama? So how's he paying 80% of anything? As I'm really not sure how all that's going to work out. I really don't know what his profession is at the moment. But yeah, I think they were doing too much bonding over like their we're playing, the woke politics police. So it's like, okay, this is my story. This is my story. Did you say the N word? Okay, I'm gonna punch you for my ancestors. It's like, okay, come on, you know. And then she gave him a pass. I kind of was like, you gave him a pass on that, and then she went, and then he went all ham on her with the whole the whole the Redskin comment. So I just felt like he just went a little too far with it, but he has a right to his feelings. I think she was trying to laugh it off, and sometimes we do that, and I think that's probably what amped him up a little bit more. Was she was trying to laugh it off the same way she laughed it off when Cameron made that stupid comment in the truck about going off the reservation. She just let it go, and then she brought it up again, like, oh, well, you're gonna come at a black woman. And then she got on the black woman bandwagon. Like she said the black woman is the most offended woman in the world. I was like, uh-oh. But Orion didn't back down. He was like, no. You're going to get this work, sis. You're going to get this education. You're going to get this work. You're going to get all of it. All the ladies were this season because he just dried her up with that lecture. She was sitting up there like, she was just turning inside out as he was talking. I was like, damn, bro, I get it. She misspoke. Just take it easy. Y'all are getting to know each other. It happened. It's not like she called you the word. She was trying to explain it to you, and I understand he's entitled to his feelings, but I just feel like he is very sensitive. He's very sensitive, and he needs to just give her a little bit more grace, because he was willing to laugh off Cameron and saying, well, like, yeah, it was like a joking kind of way, but you didn't give her like a lick of grace when it came to, her misspeaking and her thing. And, she had to tell him, bro, bring your shoulders down. You're real tight. You're real tense right now. He was like, I know I'm tense. I need you to see this tension. I need you to see these shoulders. So I don't know about these two. And then next episode, it looks like it's only going to get worse. And I meant worse, because he's pissed that she done have relations 2 months ago. Like, he was like, well, I took sex off the table. It's like, bro, what happened to all of this eggplant talk that he was talking about before? I don't see him taking all that talk to Lauren. Lauren be like, show and prove, brother. Show and prove. Show and prove. Then she had that interesting conversation, which, I'm sure it's not interesting, but she went down, oh, what's your manscaping routine?
She was opening the door. She was
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, listen, I can show you better than I can tell you. Okay, how about that? Because what are we doing?
I said, that's it. That's what's gonna happen.
He's missing his chair.
Said it's done. Go for it, Trey.
What's going on with some of these dudes? Is like, I can literally see some instances where some of the ladies are literally like opening the door a little bit. Hey, come on in. And they just say the dumbest thing. They literally talk themselves out of the poontang. Like, now Brennan, I think he's doing it for a particular reason. He's still trying to figure out who this is. She might have been around the world, yeah. Orion, I don't get it. I think she likes him. Well, you know what? Let me change that. I think she thinks she likes him. So she's willing to. Let's see what this is about. But every now and then he'll say something that'll throw off the situation. And they all doing it. Like, it's weird. He can have all the eggplant he want, but you don't know how to cook it up, bro. It's gonna spoil in the fridge. That's it.
That's quite an analogy there, with no pause. Listen, I think it was a contest on about who could be more offended. You know what I mean? In the end, people's pride got in the way. But I think he had every right to feel the way he did, right? I think he had every right to react the way he did because, I would be concerned if somebody said, if he said nigger and then you laughed in a particular way, I might feel some type of way as well, right? If I don't know you and you're coming from a different background. So I think what is important, though, is in this situation, I think there's also a common, not a common, but a good counteract that the ladies have brought to the table too, which is, did he have the same energy for, is it Cameron? So he didn't have that same energy. So then is there a reason why he has this much energy for his partner? Now, it could be just the fact that she's black, or it could be the fact that also as well at the same time, it could be the fact that you're my partner and I don't want you to be ignorant in that way, right? I don't want you to be around my family and be that ignorant. So maybe that could be it as well, right? So I'm not gonna jump down and be like, this is exactly what it is. It could be any of those things. So me personally, I was like, I hear it. I think he could have maybe been a bit softer about it, but I also understand that it's your people then. And there is a damn 2.5 hours, damn. So you need 2.5 hours to calm down. I think listen, look, I don't want to tell him to calm. I don't want to tell him how to react to the situation. I think we've got to be very careful, right? I don't want to tell him how to react because it's clearly a very offensive term to them, right? And I guess obviously by her laughing at the point when he said Redskins, he might have took that very, very seriously. And so I don't want to minimize the pain, which is what he was actually kind of saying that she was kind of doing, which is minimizing the impact of what she did. So I don't want to minimize that, right? At the same time, I want to say also that maybe he could have taken a bit more consideration in terms of that she might not have meant it that way. And actually, if you want to educate somebody, is this the best way to go about it? Probably not if you're trying to be with them, right? It's probably not the best way to go about it if you're trying to be with them. So I think he could have done, I think it's a bit of both. I think, like I said, she was definitely offensive. She needs to learn. And I think also with him that, he could have been a bit, gentler with his so-called wife as well, or wife to be, because she didn't really know. You know what I mean? She didn't really know. I didn't know the term Redskins meant so offensively. I really didn't. You know what I mean? So now we do know. So next time what we'll do is make sure we don't do that. So yeah, for me personally, I wasn't on his side or her side. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it because I saw some people in the comments too saying like, that's not he has a closer relationship with his wife versus Cameron, who's just somebody else on the process with them. So I get his sensitivity, but I think at a certain point you have to kind of he just needed to calm down a little bit because you are getting to know each other, right? So I get it if like somebody has made a series of offenses to you and now you're worked up on the same topic, but he spoke his piece. He educated her in terms of what it was and what she was saying. And I think, now we can just bring down the strength in the room a little bit. And he just wasn't ready to bring down the strength. So I think they need to do an excursion or something. That's I think they need to do an excursion. This sometimes that's why sitting and doing too much talking is it just can go left, because you're gonna bump up against each other, and then they want to like, let's just talk about everything. No, you got all this time to talk. It's too much talking. Go do an excursion. Let's get on the ATV. Let's go jet skiing. Let's go on the. Thank you, Nancy. Yeah, let's do something, because all this talking, you're gonna keep bumping your gums. Trust me, y'all done see me for the last 2 years. I know me. If I get to talking too much, I'm gonna piss somebody off. Okay, so I just need to. We gotta just balance the talking. We could talk a little bit, but let's just have some fun. All right, it's getting heavy. Let's go for a swim. Let's get a massage. Let's do something. Other.
I'm sorry. Oh,
Go for it, Joe.
I think it was just literally a misunderstanding of what was happening in the moment, and they were just going tick for tat for one another when they really didn't have to. Like, they just really didn't have to. And as far as what Cameron said versus what she said, I know he tried to explain it. I think what he was referring to, I guess it says a lot, actually. He looked at Cameron as he expected a person like Cameron to be ignorant in his words. I guess he expected that. But in the process of when he was trying to explain it to her, what the term mean, whatever, she just misspoke and said something out of turn when she probably should have just been quiet and just hear him out. Because it was literally, as he was explaining the word, where it came from, she just, I don't think she meant it, but she just literally just went, oh, that's why, because your face, look at your face. And it was just like, oh, boy. Just, yeah. And she knew she messed up as soon as she said it. She knew she messed up as soon as she said it. She went, oh, I'm sorry. Please explain, continue. But it was all bad. It was all over.
Yeah. So, I listen, like I said, that people, the trauma that some people go through, we don't know, right? As Black people, we know the trauma we go through, right? We know the trauma the word nigger has attached to it. So I do understand that it may have been more intense for him in the way that he responded. I'm not gonna be too mad at it. Do you know what I'm saying to you? I get it. I understand that we may look at it as an overreaction. I want to give him some grace and say that if we don't know the history of Native Americans, we shouldn't downplay it. You know what I mean? Because I won't want them to downplay the word nigger. You get what I'm saying to you? So, again, it maybe not exactly 100% the same, but it's just, we just got to be. I think we just got to be aware. I think she should have just taken it, understood it, and took an L. Sometimes you just got to take an L. And when you offend somebody, just take the L. Don't try to defend it. Don't try to spin around it. It's funny. It happened to me the other day, right? I was talking to a friend of mine, and she was telling me a story, and I started cracking up. The story was kind of funny. To me, it is funny. You know what I mean? What she described, I was like, it's a funny thing. And then she was like, oh no, I'm being really serious. I'm like, you're being serious? What do you mean? I said, she's like, I'm gonna go. I was like, well, you're gonna go? I said, really? Over this? It was a funny story. She's like, well, you didn't hear what I said, that it was distressing. I was like, well, no, because even when you're telling me it's distressing, I'm thinking you're still joking, right? So instead of me just saying I'm sorry there and then, I was like, well, I'm not having that. You're not gonna make me feel bad. Is that you told a funny story? We gonna continue this, okay? So if you want to go, you can go, right? Pride, right? In that moment, right? Now, of course, we sorted it out there and then. By the grace of God, we actually just spoke and just kind of worded it out. But really and truly, I should have taken an L. I wasn't in the mood to take an L. I can't lie to you. I wasn't in the mood to be in apologies. I wasn't in the mood to be saying sorry. You know what I mean? In the end, I did say sorry because, you know, I offended somebody, whether I thought I was offending them or not. But sometimes you just need to take the L. Sometimes you have to take the L. You lost. You know what I mean? And it's okay because you want to keep the maintenance of the relationship. And actually, sometimes that buys you more points by just saying, you know what, I'm sorry, my bad. I didn't even realize. You know what I mean? I didn't see that way. You know? So yeah, sometimes, you know, that just needs to take an L. You know, just take it out. So just say you're sorry, move past it. Don't use black people as a we black and we strong. No, we ain't, because you would have slapped the taste out of his mouth if he said the N-word. So we ain't.
You know, I'm with you, Coach Joe, because I've, in my past experiences, even now, I almost find everything funny. I find a joke in almost anything. Like, I have the ability to find a joke in almost anything. But I had to learn a long time ago that everybody ain't jokey like I am half the time. So I'm like, just shut my mouth and just listen. I had to learn that the hard way a few times. But, you know, same as somebody telling me a story, they dead serious. I'm like, but you don't see how funny this is? Like, for real. Like, this is kind of wild what you tell them. This is kind of wild. You know, and I do it my own stories. You heard me go through story time. And I say it in a very joking manner. You know, at the end of the day, I find it funny as heck. I've been through some stuff. When you really look at it, like, yo, you went through that? Like, yeah, it was funny as heck, man. It was crazy. But that's how I got through it as well. Like, it was funny. What do you want me to do? Want me to cry about it? I'm alive. That's all that matters.
Yeah, no, I guess I'm hearing you. I can get it. And it makes me think it wasn't in a relationship, but it makes me think of a story. You just reminded me, you know, that's my new thing. I always got a story. So this one is in my ex-wife this time. We were on a guy's trip in DR, and we were on motorcycles that we had rented, and we were going up a hill, and I fell and scuffed up my knee, something awful. So of course I'm clumsy. So we were laughing about it in the moment, but the joke kept going for like hours. And then it went into the next day, and it was like my best friend and another close friend, and they just kept going with the joke. You know, when a joke just lives on and on and on and on. Like, even the people that were around was calling me Mario Andretti. Like, you know, they were calling in Spanish. Like, it was like, and when I tell you I was banged up, bro, my knee, they had to, like, when we got back to the hotel, the resort, similar to you were all bandaged up when you scuffed up your toe. They had to, like, use needles and pick out the rocks out of my open scabs. Like, it was bad. Like, it was literally, I was messed up for, like, thank God we were on the trip for 8 days. But they just kept the jokes running. So I don't know what happened inside of me. We were in our, the villa in the resort. And I just felt like fire in my stomach because I heard them downstairs laughing. And they were like, Sean, I ran downstairs. I don't know what I was thinking, but I was pissed because I ran downstairs. I was like, yo, what's so funny? I was like, is this going to drag on for 8 days or what? When I tell you, they looked at me, it was like, yo, like, my bad. I was like, yo, it's not. They were like, but it's funny. We had jokes. I was like, it's not funny anymore. It's not. I was so elevated. They was like, damn. And it's two big dudes too, But I was like, we can scuff, we can go toe to toe in here. I'll move some furniture around. Like, when I get upset, I don't know what happens to me because I don't know what I was thinking. But in that moment, I was so over it. So I guess I could see where he was, But yeah, I wanted the joke to end. Like, I wanted them to stop. I didn't want to snicker. I didn't want nothing. It was it.
Ooh. Oh,
Sometimes the joke does have an expiration time. You got to know when. Hey, you know what? We're gonna leave it alone for now. We're gonna leave it alone for now.
Every jokes be like, remember that time when Sean dropped onto his knee? Like, how can I use that now?
Yo, you remember that time Sean came downstairs like the Hulk? Who y'all? Who want it? Who want it?
I'm sure, knowing me the way they know me, right? They probably wanted to laugh, but I was so, like, the look in my face, like, when I get angry, it's a switch. So it's like you kind of want to laugh, but then you're like, oh, he looks he got a crazy look in his eyes.
That's gonna be the next joke, though. The next joke is gonna be, remember when Sean came down the stairs? Oh.
When he came down, like he was ready to move some furniture around.
Yeah, that's gonna be the next joke.
Yep. But no, they let it go. They let it go.
Oh man, Sean very mad.
Oh man.
Sean, the sun is getting low, Sean.
Oh.
The sun is getting low. Lullaby, calm down.
Oh my God.
Calm down.
See, they already started the chat. They said, "Can I post a laughing emoji in the chat?" You done opened yourself up.
They're gonna remind me now. I can laugh about it now. I was laughing about it then. It was just the time it expired, you know. And I guess for Orion, he was like, look, I need you to just be still and hear what I'm saying, and that's it. I mean, she tried to a little bit, but I think she kept going back to try to like create a narrative, and that's the part that, you know, wasn't right. But one question: did anybody see the after party? Because Rudy gaslit him. I don't like when Rudy does that. I love me some Rudy, but I don't like that she did that because she totally shut him down. She was like, "Don't you see that you?" Because she was like, "Do you feel any different?" She baited him. She's like, "Do you feel any different now after being in it?" And he was like, "No." And then she just railed him for 5 minutes, and then the other girl that was on there chimed in too. I don't know if Claire or somebody else was on, Claire or Emily. One of them was on the Afterlife too, and they all just said no, but she's not even like that, and blah blah blah.
It's not about what she's like.
We just want you to give him give her grace, and he just sat there like.
I said what I said. I said what I said. I meant it. Yeah, it is.
Cool. Okay. All right. Listen, so we've reached the end, guys. So listen, just don't do anything that will get the thing to get, you know, and then we got to make sure you keep the thing lubricated. You understand? Yeah. So things that make that close the door, let's not do that. You understand? All right. You want to make sure she's nice and calm and enjoying the life that you're going to provide. You get me? Yeah. Someone said don't matter. But let's get Sean give us a benediction, and we'll pop out. Oh my God, my eye.
Well, this was a good one. You know, this was the ladies' take. Hopefully, you know, nobody is offended around there. You know, this is just our take on the situation, but we're open to conversation, as we should be in all relationships. But we'll start with the last couple first. You know, sometimes talking too much can lead you down a rabbit hole, right? You know, you get to balance talking with doing, you know, like have fun. Don't, you know, we don't always need to get so heavy, so serious, so quick in our relationships, right? It should be a continuum and a blend of activities, because, you know, we don't want to dry out the room, you know, pun intended. You know, we want to keep things a little bit light, but a little bit serious in our relationships, right? Next, we'll go to Becca and Austin. Listen, if he's going to be Job, I'll stand beside him. And I'll support him and cheer him on. But I don't know how many people willingly want to be Job in their relationships. Relationships should be a give and take. And, you know, hopefully, you know, marriage is forever, but sometimes forever isn't always. So I wish them the best. But, you know, just be careful of what you're taking on and look to have balance in your relationships. Claire and Cameron, first of all, self-awareness is super important. You know, we shouldn't push our views on people and preach to people in any facet, but definitely in our relationships. We should suggest, we should give ideas and feedback, but also don't push our views. And, you know, listen, just have some self-awareness, be nice, be kind, you know, practice those things. And, you know, then that won't dry up the energy in the room. Emily and Brennan. I don't know about these two. You know, we should be on the same accord. You know, in our relationships, it says to be equally yoked. But if we, you know, if the yoke is not equal, sometimes we got to know when to hold them and when to fold them. But, you know, on the bright side, be open to feedback. Seems like Emily is somewhat open. So let's hope they can make it. But I just don't know. I'm wishing the best for Mass this year, but it just seems like I don't know. I don't know who we have to hang our hats on. And then we have no, that's it. We're done. Back to you, Coach.
Well, that was fun, and I appreciate that, boys. That was good fun, actually. You know, we have our own little personal joke now, so if the ladies do decide to come back, they better know. But listen, audience members, thank you so much. We appreciate y'all. We're going to pop off and go. We hope you guys enjoyed the episode breakdown. We're definitely going to see you guys again next week. I think it'll be. Would it be next week? It won't be next week because next week is what's the date? 17th. No, 16th. So I'll be in a plane. I think I'll be actually no, I might not be on a plane yet, so I might be able to do it. So I'll double check. I might be on a plane to Ghana, so we might do it later on. But listen, audience, we thank you. We appreciate you. And we will see you again very, very soon. Tomorrow, I know we got a live tomorrow morning for you guys this morning, it'll be me afternoon, because there's Cassie situation and Diddy. It's got everybody in a twizzle whizzle. And let me tell you something, so I'm reading some of the parcel of documents. I mean, we can tussle about Kiki and Dingy, but this one, you can't, there is too much that Diddy has done that is just disgusting. And I can't lie to you on that. But anyway, listen, we'll like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of uploads. We appreciate y'all. Stay locked today. We'll see you again very soon. Much love, much appreciation. And don't forget, you know, sometimes you got to tell people certain things, and it does look like this. You know, it does look like this. There is no money in the bank account anymore, baby. You can't spend anymore. That's Brennan to Emily when she realizes the car going decline. She keeps spending the way she's spending. Appreciate y'all. Stay locked today.